Multiple foreign countries released their abortion data this month, and the news is not good for pro-lifers. In Ireland, the number of abortions last year rose by nearly 8%. And in England and Wales, according to the most recent data, abortions increased by more than 13% from 2021 to 2022. For more, we turn to Michael New, Assistant Professor of Practice at the Bush School of Business at the Catholic University of America and a Senior Associate Scholar at the pro-life Charlotte Lozier Institute. Michael, the new numbers on the rise in abortions in Ireland, England, and Wales, did this surprise you?
No, it didn't. One thing we know from a lot of research is that abortion rates are impacted by public policy. And tragically, Ireland legalized abortion in 2019, and it's kind of not surprising that since then, abortions have gone up by about 40% in Ireland. We know we legalized abortion, numbers go up. That's happened in Ireland. In England and Wales, they made chemical abortions a lot more accessible. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they allowed women to get these chemical abortion drugs without any in-person visits. So it's really not surprising that abortions went up by about 13% in 2022. You make chemical abortions easier to get. Again, abortion rates go up.
Well, let's take a look at that devastating loss from Ireland, and specifically, that trend began after that referendum overturned a ban on abortion. Can you put this into perspective for us culturally? Is it that more people are interested in abortion? Do you have people flying into Ireland to procure these deadly procedures?
Well, Ireland for a long time had one of the strongest pro-life laws in kind of all of Europe. I mean, they had the Eighth Amendment that really did provide very solid legal protection for preborn children. Sadly, the Eighth Amendment was repealed by a public referendum in 2018. I think what you just see happening in Ireland is the country has become a lot more secular. Many people are nominally Catholic, but mass attendance is way down. Pro-lifers in that referendum did well amongst those who attend church or mass frequently. Among infrequent mass attendees, they voted almost in favor, overwhelmingly, to vote in favor of legal abortion. So, again, you see Ireland become more secular. That's kind of why abortion policies are more permissive, and that's why you see more abortions.
What can you tell us about the change then in England and Wales? You mentioned it had something to do with the coronavirus pandemic. Can you double click into that for us and explain what that trend really means?
Sure, that England and Wales, like a lot of countries, have just made it easier to obtain chemical abortions. Back, I guess, in 2018, they reduced the number of visits that one needed for a chemical abortion from 2 to 1. And then during the COVID pandemic, like a lot of other countries, they made it possible for women to obtain these chemical abortion pills by telehealth. So that meant that women didn't actually have to have an in-person meeting with a medical professional. They could just have an online meeting and get these pills through the mail. And in England and Wales, like the United States, we see abortion numbers go up. I mean, if you don't have to have an in-person visit, that reduces the cost and makes the abortion more accessible. And it really is not surprising that abortion rates did go up in both England and Wales.
Is there any good news then for pro-lifers in the UK or in Europe?
I would just say that, we see from the United States that long-term progress can be made, getting abortion numbers down. The United States, after Roe v. Wade, abortion numbers spiked up, but between 1980 and 2017, we cut the abortion rate in half in this country, and that doesn't get that much attention. So, we're in this for the long haul. There's going to be setbacks, disappointments, aggravations, but I think you can see from the U.S. that it is possible to build a culture of life. It is possible to get abortion numbers down. So I would never encourage despair. I think there's always things you can do to build a culture of life.
A grateful, hopeful message. Thank you so much. Michael New, Assistant Professor of Practice at the Bush School of Business at the Catholic University of America and Senior Associate Scholar at the pro-life Charlotte Lozier Institute. Thank you so much.
Thank you.